The security situation in Nigeria's northeast region continues to be volatile and very unpredictable. For 10 years and counting, Boko Haram insurgents have been waging a war with the Nigerian government in the region. Other security threats like banditry also exist in the region. Daily security forces battle with criminals, resulting in loss of lives and property. The National Security Advisor says that government will rather deploy all necessary force to eliminate those posing a threat to national security. So this is part of what we'll be talking about in the next couple of minutes. Joining me in the studio is security consultant Darlington Umoru. It's nice to have you join me this morning.
Good morning, Mike, once again.
Great. And we also have our analyst, Obani Akinwale. Good morning.
My pleasure.
Great to see you. Now, we've heard the statement from the National Security Advisor. There won't be any issue of negotiation. There won't be the use of mercenaries, against the insurgents and all of that. And then we'll go all out with full force against the insurgents and bandits, as the case may be. What do all of these statements mean differently from what we have had and what we've heard before?
Nothing new, if you ask me. Still forming a ring around the same point. It's not about the talk. It's about how much has the government put in place to checkmate all of these activities. I did say the other time, I spoke with somebody in Kaduna this morning who told me that there was palpable fear in the whole of Kaduna as a result of this kidnap that happened in the early hours of this morning. Yeah. If you remember, I did ask a question here on this same platform some time ago, and I said the target has been on unity schools. If you look at the trend, it has been on the bandits are targeting unity schools. Boko Haram is targeting unity schools. And don't forget that there are several groups when it comes to the bandits. And you also have about 1 or 2 or 3 groups of Boko Haram. Why is the target unity schools? I told you, when I just came back from the Northwest, I covered 5 out of the 6 states, aside from Kano. The location of these unity schools are not also helping matters. One of the reasons I think they have also become soft targets. Another reason perhaps could be that they get the money they want because of the passion of parents and the government. I also subscribe to that. I belong to that class. It's shameful that for every time there's a kidnap, the last time the one for Zamfara happened, remember I was in Sokoto when they took those girls, and I was actually in Zamfara the day they were released. A lot were said. The state governor said a lot when he was addressing the children and their parents and all of those who were present in government house in Gusau that morning. And the federal government took some certain decisions. The NSA came out to say a lot of things on behalf of the, Mr. President. And Mr. President did say that was the last we were going to experience. We've often heard that statement. And then the challenge I have is when it comes to intelligence gathering. I do not think those who are meant to do what they are supposed to do in terms of intelligence gathering are doing enough. If you are doing enough, what is intelligence? Information plus analysis is equal intelligence. You have known over time that the unity schools have become soft targets for these terrorists and bandits, and you have a lot of them. You are waiting for each of them to be attacked. What measure of security have you put in place to safeguard these children in school? You want to wait until each and every one of the unity school is. I was there physically, and what I saw, I think our level of intelligence, I must say this, is very, very low. Do we have the gadgets? Intelligence has gone beyond physical monitoring. Technology is highly what is in use for now. how many unmanned area vehicles? I expected that by now we should have the unmanned area vehicles covering the unity schools. Haven't known that 1 + 1 will give you 2.
Right. We'll certainly come back to that, and then we'll try to also get some of your experience from the tour that you carried out in some of the states that you went in the northwest. Now, let me come to you on this. Just when we talk about security and government is giving assurance to Nigerians, recall like Darlington said, the president has said the Jangebe kidnap would have been or will be the last one. But we just even broke one story now in Mando in Kaduna State of kidnap of students. Again, what do you make of our winning the war against insurgents and terrorism as government makes Nigerians to believe?
Yeah, I keep saying this, and I think this will be my 4th time of saying this on this platform, that the president says this will be the last time that kidnap will happen in Jangebe, not in Nigeria. Oh, okay. So if you are not, I think most of us are taking the president out of context, because I know in the heart of the president, being the president and the CNC, he's aware the number of both military and paramilitary personnel that's available to us in this country. So it will be disservice to think that president saying it will be the last time that kidnapping will happen in Nigeria. Apparently, we saw what happened in Osun a couple of days ago. We heard what happened in Benin on the road. So the president cannot come and say, possibly say that will happen in Jangebe. That is the last time it will happen, and it has never happened after this since then. But again, like you mentioned, that intelligence is ability for us to analyze information. The question I've always asked over the years is that what has been subsequent government from 1999 to today investment in our security apparatus? What has been in terms of human resources? What has been in terms of facilities for our security officers? It is next to none. You will recollect when this man comes as president, as much as I don't subscribe to his style, I mean the CNC himself, it was the only time that we have said we want to equip our Air Force. So you can now imagine the rots we already have in the military, in the police, and what have you. So, and you heard the president saying a few days ago that the intelligence he has is that when they close down the border, they want to stop importation of light weapons and what have you. But nonetheless, the equipment are still coming in, which shows that whatever intelligence we're having, we still have a loophole. And why would they target government schools and what have you? Because these are human defense. And we look at it that it is outside politics in Nigeria. I think the other thriving business now is the business of kidnapping. Because you know that government will sit down with you. I watched the NSA speaking yesterday, and he said it will be out of place for government to be negotiating with the bandits or with the terrorists, which I absolutely agree. But again, what is the philosophy of Boko Haram? Boko Haram simply is Western education should be totally outlawed. So if the government decided to start shutting down unity schools, government schools, and what have you, it will give credence to the fact that Boko Haram is truly. But nonetheless, the government are supposed to be proactive in such a way that we don't use life of these younger ones as kites. We all know that those days we all ask for that, okay, studies should be done in a very serene environment, outside distraction and what have you. What gave back to unity schools? Probably to unite us together, post-civil war, allow us to interact, share ideas, share culture and what have you, but not at the detriment of the security. Now, if something of this nature can happen in Kaduna, I've always asked, people are saying our security should be proactive, Have we for once done an audit of the total number of military personnel that we have in this country? Have we done an estimate of the total number of paramilitary personnel we have in this country? And what is the ratio of citizen to security personnel? And like you mentioned, what is the area surveillance equipment? What was bequeathed to this man as the president? And when he has come back into governance, what has the president been able to do to ensure that we have all these area patrol equipment to do what we need to do? But you find out that every day what we just get is rhetorics from the corridor of power. But it is important now that parents need to be responsible for their kids. Yes, your children need to go for education. UNICEF is saying these days statistics about effect of COVID, kidnapping, girl child education, northern or what have you. But nonetheless, there is no life of any child is worth risking at the detriment of the level of incompetence we have at our intelligence agencies.
Oh, okay, Darlington, the point there is, let me come to the issue. You traveled across some of the states. When it comes to terrain, except for those who have been there and who have seen how the terrain in the north is, especially when you're talking about desert and then some very difficult areas and forests and all of that. And we have the largest, most vast part of arable land, or land generally, in the northern part. Do you think, and this has given room to ungoverned, what they call ungoverned spaces, where there is a large expanse of land, no one is living in some areas and all of that. Do you think this is part of the challenge that we have?
I don't know. I do not want to completely subscribe to that. The challenge isn't if you have the right equipment to do surveillance and gather your intelligence, you can cover the entire Africa if you want to. Nigeria is not bigger than America. Okay, what is important is how much men do you have on ground? What is their level of training? What is their level of intelligent quotient? How much can they handle the equipment if you have any? What is their number? What's the strength? I did say, like I was discussing the issue of smuggling of arms into this country when I was looking at that training security officers on border management. I discovered that some of the challenges we have are not even being attended to. I did say that there's nowhere in the world that any country can completely manage or police their borders, not even in the United States of America. But even so, you try as much as possible to minimize the activities of smugglers. Talking about numerical strength, if you lined up all the paramilitary agencies, the members, the personnel, from one point to the end, they will not be able to police our borders. Borders up north, there are some that what you find could just be like a rope. Some of these borders, you could just have something like one small thatched house, and somebody is just merely sitting inside there, and the other man is passing, and he say, "Hey, hello, how are you?" Familiarity has been passing there. So, but I think what the basic issue is, it's not just about the landmass, it's about how we've been able to police the area. Now, if you know that insecurity is a challenge to you, and you also have been able to identify areas, some of these places, I did say on some other media, you could actually identify the people living in those areas will tell you this particular point is a no-go area. You can't go through that road. You can't go into this part of the forest or desert area. It's in two parts. Some areas are like a desert, the other part is like the area where you have the forest. We do not have the manpower. Our soldiers are overstretched. I have often said this. You call the soldiers into virtually everything. Armed robbery incidents.
But the government is ready to send 6,000 to Zamfara.
How many do you have in total? If you send 6,000 to Zamfara, how many would you send to Borno? How many would you send to Kaduna? I was in Kaduna. The problem in Kaduna is almost on a daily basis. But these things are not really happening at the state capitals, at the suburbs. We do not have the equipment. Look, do you know the job that those 6,000 men could do? Could be handled by just less than 100 men. if you have the right equipment. If you have the surveillance gadgets, you just need somebody to sit in the control room. I often use the example of when America took on 2 persons they described as terrorists in Iraq. They used a drone to monitor them and gun them down in Iraq. No American soldier was physically present. They were followed. So if you have these unmanned area vehicles, not even the Tucanos we are talking about, what you need today to fight insurgency is the unmanned area vehicles for surveillance.
We understand the military has some unmanned
I challenge you. I challenge you right now to tell me.
How about the ones that the president unveiled?
I want to challenge you.
Okay.
I want to challenge you. Tell me one Nigerian border post where you have an unmanned area vehicle policing or monitoring. One, give me one. I have been a part of the training of paramilitary and the military agents when it comes to border management in the south and in the east. And I have often posed these questions. There's not one. Not one, sir. So if you're telling me what you think you know, I am challenging you to prove me wrong at this point in time.
The point there is, former President Goodluck Jonathan unveiled and launched one made in Nigeria UAV. We had another situation where the current president, I think a few years ago, also unveiled another one by that was designed.
Where are they? And where are they being put to use? My challenge, you know what gets me to this point where I feel so sad is that innocent children who are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow are being traumatized. Do you know what it is to get a child out of trauma when the child finds him or herself in such position or condition? Look at what happened in Zamfara. They had to bring in all the psychologists in the state to begin to handle those. You know, each time that thing occurs to them, they will be put off. And now look at the situation. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more. Unity schools have been visited. Children and their teachers have been taken away in some instances. For others, just the children alone, and they go through harrowing experience. And you put them in the desert or in the forest, in the open. They are exposed to all kinds of things, and then they begin to want to imbibe all kinds of things. And then you take these children back. You remember the issue of the Chibok girls? It got to a point in time when some of the girls said that they are not interested in going back to their parents. We heard all of that. Where's Leah Shaibu today? You see, I think the government should please, for every year, there's something some of us do not know. For every year, when I heard him talking about equipment, for every year there's budget for the purchase of equipment. For every year. Now, that money is being used or not being used, or corruption is happening somewhere. But for those part of the monies that are being used, have they been used in buying surveillance and intelligence gathering gadgets? Okay.
Now, that's a question that we hope it is also a strong statement, one way or the other. Obani, the point there is when it comes to what more we can do from our own, Nigerians don't want to bother themselves with the nitty-gritty, the metrics of what goes on behind the scenes in security. Well, everybody just wants to wake up, do your normal business and do your thing and go to sleep and sleep well. What more can the security agencies do, and how can Nigerians also help in this regard?
I think the first thing is that the security agency needs to recalibrate. We need to do a self-appraisal. Are Nigerians even willing to give security agents intelligence? President Goodluck Jonathan said he was there when he was in government that they are accomplished in the military. You remember the governor of Zamfara a few days ago said the military personnel and his girlfriend is involved in giving military uniform to what have you. So the question now is this: as a civilian or as a citizen, who do you give the information to that you are not even sure of whether they are the one divulging the information? Then again, I will still refer to some Nasambo report of 2016 or 2015 in Zamfara, when the villagers mentioned that they see helicopters at midnight dropping weapons for people, and they don't know who those people are. So you now ask yourself, if the locals have made intelligence available that we see aircraft roving around us and dropping stores for people in the bush, and government has not moved in. So it is all about the trust system. You remember one of the major, I think Major General Adeosun or Lamidi or what have you, that was in the bush and he was saying his troop was attacked, their MRAP was attacked, the guys were looking for tire, there is no equipment. About 4 days, about a month ago, some military that conquered the Shekau farm were saying they've not had any food for the past 5 days, they are waiting for that. You look at the kind of weapons that military personnel are carrying, and there was a report of a guy that was injured, a military officer that has a spinal injury that has been left to live alone. So you ask yourself, how even the military officer willing to live their life for a government or a country that will not look after whoever they leave behind? Then two, the civilians are not too sure. I remember those days, the SSS, what we call the SSS now, used to be very, very... All right. You have a police team that they call, they don't wear uniform. They gather intelligence here and there. But what do we have these days? It's just jamboree. So our intelligence system seems to be totally collapsed. And those that are manning the affair rather goes after the title than getting the job done. Until we do that.
We see the service chiefs traveling, you know, the length and breadth of the country.
Kingdom,
we have a peculiar situation, I guess. All right, we have to leave you here now. Obani Akinwale, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you. And Darlington Tomorrow, thank you very much for coming as well.
Well, Mike, thank you. But security matter is ongoing. Yeah. Everybody should be involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Information, everybody is a security officer.
Exactly. I totally agree. Thank you very much.